Let's collect, let's collect, let's collect. We collect. We collect. The collector's going digital and Jack collects. Beyond the drop. Let's collect, let's collect. Beyond the drop. We collect. We collect. We collect the strong digital and Jack collects. Beyond the drop. Let's collect, let's collect. Let's collect. Let's collect. Beyond the drop.
All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 36 of Beyond to the Drop, the show that Collectors Gone Digital and I do for you guys every Monday live at 1 p.m. EST. What up, Josh? How are you doing today, my friend?
What's going on, guys? So yeah, we got an exciting one today. We're gonna kind of hop right into things here so we don't waste too much time. We started a couple minutes early, but yeah, we have an executive from the Doodles team joining us today, right after a really exciting drop that they just did with Elmonix and VeVe. So we're gonna cover some things that happened in the space regarding VeVe. We weren't live last week just because of some connection issues, and then we're going to cover some stuff we missed then, some big news that happened with AI this week with Claude, and then we're going to hop right into some Doodles stuff. So if you guys do enjoy the content, hit the thumbs up, share it, and Jan, ready to go?
I'm ready to go, my friend. Let's jump in.
All right. So we're not even going to do the transition here, but let me pop this up on the screen behind us. The probably the craziest promo to date, I would say. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? This was pretty insane to see. This happened in during NFC Lisbon that happened last week, for those who don't know.
Yes, I mean, we've seen some leaked photos of VeVe's booth at the NFC Lisbon, and then right after it, this fucking amazing trailer, man. I mean, VeVe's plastered all over it. I mean, as you've said, we haven't seen such a good promos to such a big IP in like a while. I mean, the last big one was like big one was probably the Disney one, but This is huge.
I'm wondering if the reach was larger on this though too than Disney and Marvel. And I know that's probably sounds crazy for me to say to some people, but the amount of kids that probably shared this. I heard there was a lot of like YouTube shorts or like TikTok clips that were made of this, but yeah, a custom promo with all the VeVe logos and stuff like that on the banners. That's insane. And we've never even seen like Disney or Marvel do something like this. So
yeah, I mean, from a visibility standpoint, point and like the I would say brand actually promoting it. I mean, we couldn't have hoped for more, I guess. Yeah, that is pretty wild.
Yeah, let's get into this one though. Here, I'll put us full screen. So Foster, community manager of Akomi, says you can now keep up to date with and track the token that powers Where the World collects directly in your feed using the @X cash tag feature. So you can track Omi's price on X's feed now, which is really cool to see. So
yeah, 100%. And it even got an update after that post. It's now even larger. So yeah, great for visibility. I mean, just let the token. I mean, we've seen it when the token pumped last week. Like all people were like posting that all over X, and I think that could be a real interesting driver of visibility. So yeah, great to see that.
It reminds me of PFPs like this with the Bored Ape.
Mm-hmm.
When you see people pushing a token like this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. We're going to talk a little bit about AI today because Doodles has their own AI platform, for those who don't know. So we're going to cover some of that later on in the show. But there was an absolute bombshell that dropped this past week. And the U.S. government's trying to clean up the debris. Let's put it that way. So this Mythos model dropped with Claude, and Mythos was a model that was only available to a select group of companies in the entire world for a certain period of time because it was so powerful. And what they were doing was they had to actually kind of like downgrade it to make sure that it wasn't as powerful as it was for the general public. Now they ended up releasing the less powerful version, and within 24 hours, like the things that people were creating were just off the wall nuts. It was so crazy that apparently like Amazon executives and Google executives, they were all like panicking behind the scenes. And this made it all the way up to the US government, who then made an order to Claude to pull it within, I think it was 24 hours. So the model released, and now it's not available, I think, to anyone outside of the US. I think people inside the US can still use it, but I can't use it anymore. I put like 3-4 prompts in with the Mythos model, and it's nuts. So this
you sent like the one clip to me on X where it says like where it created a whole video game, a whole world with a character that has like perfect movement, etc. And you were like, hey, that was from one prompt. That is just mind blowing.
Yeah, probably a really extensive prompt, but it's still crazy to see. This video you guys see on screen is another example of what the model did. Created this video with a couple prompts, the guy says, and from the sound design to the motion design, everything it created. Like, absolutely insane. I mean, so that's one example.
Just think about like the amount of people or the amount of skill sets and jobs would have been needed a couple years before that to create this. That's
well, okay, so that's a topic that I think more and more people are talking about, and you hear people go, oh, well, this is going to replace a lot of jobs, or a lot of people are going to get fired or whatever. And I think that is happening.
Sorry to interrupt there, buddy. I recently listened to the All In podcast. I mean, we've spoken about that, and like the data doesn't really shows that jobs getting lost. I mean, the data more or less shows that there are more jobs created because you can now like put out so much more per person. But yeah, I'm still not sure on that, because I would also say this will probably cost a lot of people their job.
I think that was kind of what I was trying to say, though, is you hear people go, oh, like anybody can create an app now. It's like, well, anybody could create an app before. You just had to learn. It's just now the barriers to entry, like the learning curve, is just smaller. But you still have to take action. It's not like the bot's going to do everything. The people who say, oh, I generated this in one prompt or a couple prompts, to be clear, those are people who probably have a lot of experience doing what they're doing. So like a director who knows all the terms in the industry, like, you know, the shutter speeds and the camera angles, and they're telling the bot to do very, very specific things in one prompt or 2 prompts, but the prompt is like a flippant report. So that's another thing to understand.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. And this is also a highlight reel. Gary Vee likes to say like social media is a highlight reel. So you're also seeing a lot of just like the best work that was generated with the model.
Fair. And I mean, I see on our project like how much work still goes into creating good quality output, even though you have the capabilities of AI, and you still need to know what you're doing. You're totally right on that one.
Yeah, but for Claude to generate something like this, the amount of time it would have taken to traditionally make like a motion design video like this, oh my God, it's a fraction of the time now. And it looks so clean, so professional too. Yeah. Compare this to the mangled hands with Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Oh yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah. Felix, John, what up, guys? Great to have you in the chat.
We have another one, glass effect. Looks super cool. And then this is the one I showed you.
Yeah.
This one's nuts.
Damn.
Insane. This is a full game that was generated in 4 prompts, the person says. Full inventory system, RPG game. You got NPC players walking around. You got the map system. I think this is the lobby right here, or the different players who are on and offline. It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody recreated Minecraft.
Yeah, just think about like some of the Minecraft worlds, how big and detailed they are, and now like, yeah, you can kind of build that easily and not spend like weeks and months building out a world.
Now, Minecraft does have their own tools and platforms that you can use now with AI. So, but it's crazy that you can recreate games like this with such speed. We really are living in the Iron Man Jarvis times now. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you've said recently to me, like, we are right at the start of the I Robot movie here.
Yeah,
could potentially be.
But speaking of the Doodles AI, we want to kind of take a look at this. We're going to talk more about it with Doodlifts here, but for those who don't know, Doodles has their own AI generator.
Yeah. Trained on their own IP and stuff.
Yeah, it's trained on their own designs and stuff. So what you do is you upload your photo, and I don't know if you guys can see this clearly on screen, but it's showing the original image when I hover over it, and then what the generator actually creates using the Doodles designs afterwards. So we're going to talk more about this with Doodlifts here in a moment, but
that's so cool. That's so cool.
I
didn't know about that beforehand. I just found out through like the research for the interview today, but that's so cool.
Doodles is a next generation entertainment company building immersive storytelling experiences through original content, music, digital collectibles, live activations, and lifestyle products. I mean, the most notable collabs they've done just off the top of our heads are what? McDonald's, Adidas. Crocs, you said. Does anybody else in the chat, like, what are we missing here? I know we're missing more.
Yeah, but those are definitely the biggest ones. I just imagine like getting like your stuff on the McDonald's cups down there.
Yeah, I wonder what the situation is with these, like, because I know a lot of people were collecting them to, I guess, resell them or just hold them.
Probably both.
That's fine.
Just getting 50 Happy Meals to get 50 cups. I don't need drinks, guys. I don't need drinks. Just want the cup.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about that in a moment.
Wait, here, someone in my chat just says, I still have my cups. Yeah, buddy. People collect those. Nice.
They were only available, was it in the US?
I think so.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember seeing them in Canada.
No. I'm not 100% sure, but guys, you probably know just the US, right? Oh, also Doodles did a collab with Base. Huh. I didn't know that.
Oh, we'll have to ask about that.
Yeah, I mean they are just delivering. I mean back in 2021 in the NFT bull run, I mean so many huge names were like backing Doodles, and probably most of them still are, but more quiet because NFTs is not the hot topic right now. But yeah.
We didn't get the Doodles promo in Switzerland. Shame. Yeah, I think it was just US. But speaking of people who are crushing it, we have Suye. So Suye, the Mio drop was all over socials and VeVe during NFC Lisbon. But one thing I didn't realize is that the Ethereum one didn't sell out yet. So for anyone who is interested in still grabbing one, I'm going to do it right now on stream. I'm going to grab one. But I had a call with Suye a couple days ago, and the 111 artist edition variants or whatever. Those are the ones that are being revealed now. But from my understanding, they're also going to be revealing more artists as time goes on. And so the total edition size is 777. So you can still buy one and wait for yours to be revealed. It's still going to be a one of one. And yeah, because I saw people like Eno, who was posting on our app his Mio, and he has one of the cooler ones too.
Yeah, that looks dope. His one.
Yeah, it's like just a bright cloak, like his. Yeah. I had serious FOMO, like 2021, 2022 vibes. You know, I really, really wanted to get one. So, and I thought I missed out. So for anyone who doesn't know, you still have a chance to get one.
Yeah, and on that project, I mean, I haven't seen like a drop besides like the Star Wars drops, for example, Yoda, etc., where like the community was so hyped about it. I mean, you've seen like pictures plastered all over X with that character. And I mean, one of our good friends, VeVe Versum from the German community, he is all in on the Mios. He prints them like on his own with a 3D printer, and he really loves that project. And what Suye and D-Roy did there with that character till this day, and I think there's even more coming. Amazing, just amazing, and like a kind of poster child drop, I would say.
I didn't realize though I have to put my MetaMask in. I thought I might have to do this after stream then, because I'm trying to buy with my credit card, but now it's asking for my wallet address. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to reveal which one you got obviously after stream now, but yeah, that will be pretty exciting. And how they are like $180 or so? How much was it?
165 euros.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or pound. No, euros. Yeah. I always get those mixed up.
Yeah. Oh, Doug, if you mint a Mio, there will be also a Mio Ordinal included to be dropped later this year. Yeah, I think there could. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just agreeing. That's another good point. There's that, and then you also get a print sent to your address, like a physical print.
Yeah. And didn't he also hint on more utility coming for those characters?
This is the craziest utility I've heard for a project in Web3, but he was saying for the next 3 years, every couple weeks.
Damn.
Which is just insane.
Just hammering out. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I can't figure out how to buy it with the credit card. It wants me to verify a wallet, so I'll have to do that after. Unless, Suya, you're watching this and you want to help me out here. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, now you do. There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And also, like, just think about, like, everyone is a one of one, right? From like 777 different artists, or can one artist do like multiple variations of one of ones?
I don't know. I don't know. I would not put it past them, but
yeah.
I saw Kid Arcade was an artist that they included, which was awesome.
Did he already put his out?
I don't know if his has been revealed yet. I haven't seen it, but I know he's involved with the project. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, what time is it? Do we have anything else we want to go over before we hop into?
I mean, overall in this space, there's so much happening right now. Like on the candy side, on the VeVe side, and also like Digitoys. I mean, all are kind of like going forward, and probably want to be prepared for what maybe or maybe not comes in the next couple of months and years for the NFT space. So yeah, how cool is that?
I also hear Fanable might have some big plans in the works, which I'm excited to see what they do as well, because I really like what they were trying to do with the kiosks. I know they've been a little quiet, but we plan on kind of covering them a little bit as well. What do you think of this? This thing looks cool.
This looks super dope. Like, how big is it? 17.5. What is it? Is it feet or inches? Probably, right?
Inches.
Okay, so 18, 20, 22 centimeters times 16, 17 centimeters. So not that small.
No, it's a good size. Made by...
You heard it here first. That's a good size. That's what she said. Okay, sorry.
Burnt Toast, produced by SK Lamb. Doodles. We need this community on our app too.
Yeah, that would be sick.
This one's cool.
To be fair, I like the first one even more. Like with the glass kind of acrylic stuff. That's more my type. Even though this one looks cool as well, but I would probably buy the first one.
These look heavy. I wonder what these are made of, though.
Isn't it in the description?
Oh, vinyl. Yeah, 100% vinyl.
What up, Fadi? What up, Brony? Great to have you guys here. Yeah, that looks definitely sick.
This one. How does that stand? Do you lay this down, or how does that stand?
I don't know.
Perfect balance. It just...
Okay, probably that's one of those figures you stand just on the feet and then you can tip it and it's like...
I don't know about that, but the hair doesn't look symmetric. It doesn't look like balanced. But yeah, these are cool. This is the cat that just dropped.
I'm so excited for the interview. Like in a couple of minutes, he will pop in, guys, and we will get like a deep dive on the Doodles project here.
Yeah, before he hops in, let's actually just quickly cover this. If you guys haven't signed up for early access to Collectoria, we are getting ready to send out, it's probably going to be today or tomorrow, another round of invites. So all you need to do is go to collectoria.io, put in your email and your phone type, iOS or Android, and then you have a chance of getting early access. The list is now triple digits. It has been for a little bit now, but so we're not letting everyone in, but
yeah, and those links are also in the video descriptions if you guys haven't signed up yet. Obviously, Josh and I are like really excited about like letting even more people in. But like over the last couple of weeks, we've tested the app quite a lot, and I would say we are extremely happy with how it's going. Yeah. And also, guys, by the way, I now, it's more my problem than Josh's problem, but I now totally get like the difficulty David has with with not spoiling anything. So, yeah.
But yeah, guys, there's that. So, do you want to do some? Like Grail Watch? Is there any pieces you want to look at?
I mean,
while we're waiting for our guest here. Or if you guys have any topics you want to cover that we have missed. I know we weren't live last week, so I do feel like we're missing quite a bit still.
Yeah. We're still waiting for the Foster files with the OMI utility. That's a big thing, I would say.
Was that the make OMI great again thing?
Yeah, kind of. Now that was more about like what David said on the stage at Lisbon. But yeah, it's all about that. I think there's quite some interesting stuff coming there on the OMI utility side, and we are already in talks with Foster to get him on as soon as he can drop that stuff. So let's hope you will hear it here first, guys. But we will see.
I think this piece hangs. There's something behind here.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell if that's string or if it's like a piece of plastic that it sticks to, but
Yeah.
oh, they got
Yeah,
rubbed, dude.
Strings would make sense, right?
Symmetry is not needed. It's all about weight distribution. Yeah, that's what I was meaning. I didn't mean symmetry. It just like it looks well. Probably stop talking there, but hap vine. Yeah, these are super clean.
Mm-hmm. I'm still on the first one. I still like the first one the most.
I know. Actually, should we try and?
Yeah. That I was thinking the same, buddy. Yeah, put in a photo there.
Let's turn our thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
One sec, because I think my folder text.
And guys, for those who are new here in my chat or in Josh's chat, welcome for your first time being here with us on Beyond the Drop. We do this show every Monday live at 1 p.m. EST, and we try to get the best guests on. Last week or the week before, we had Ted Smith from Candy Digital, and the week before that, we had Will from Digitoys. And obviously this week, Doodlifts is like a perfect guest for our show as well. So yeah, if you're interested in like the overall digital collectibles landscape, yeah, we are trying to be your show, guys. So we would highly appreciate you coming back for another episode and see if you like it or not. Okay. Now I'm
generate 10. Oh, I have 50. Okay. I think I just put the image in. See what it does. We kind of already have some doodles on there, so.
Yeah, it would be funny if it turns like the doodle that is on there back to its origin. D in the chat.
Balancing light and color, aligning structure and style.
But also like a really nice animation. I like this like kind of
like
simplistic style.
We should have used this for the thumbnail as well.
Yeah, fair.
You can still change it though. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow, that's freaking cool.
That's super cool.
Hold
yeah, we're trying out the Doodles AI, and for all of you guys, it's free. You can do it on your own as well.
You have 50 credits. Each image is, it looks like 10, so you have 5 generations.
Yeah,
that is so freaking cool. I don't know why it changed my skin complexion, but it's all good. Doodles, director ecosystem growth, VeVe. It even got the Woody in there. Look at that.
But why did I get a rainbow? I did get the rainbow.
I think stuff like that is probably has to do with their IP, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like
fair.
Rainbow back here, so
makes Josh look like he just came from Hawaii.
Yeah.
You wish.
My digital avatar is traveling more than I am. Damn it.
Yeah. Damn. Okay, what else? Let us put another one in there. Do we have any other cool image that we can put in
you
there?
know what I should do? Let's take a VeVe-verse image, like one from a map that I've built, and see what it does. You want to do
ahead.
that?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, we still have some time before Doodlifts hops on here, so let's play around with it.
Let me generate or save this and then create new.
I will definitely play around with it after the stream. That's pretty fun. And also such a smart move. I mean, it encouraged people so much to spread like the Doodle IP itself.
Yeah.
And for those of you here in the chat, if you try that with your own pictures and characters, please tag us if you post those. Tag us and tag Doodlifts on X if you try that out, because I would love to see like your guys' creation here on those.
Sorry, I'm trying to pick one that actually makes.
Doug is asking, you still mess with VeVeverse? Doug, I can say the answer is no. But we have the pictures, so.
Yeah, no.
Doug, we are messing with Collectoria right now. So if you are not on the list yet, like the goal is connecting collectors and creators across fandoms. So check it out and get yourself on the list if you haven't been on the list already.
Josh is scrolling and scrolling and scrolling his whole portfolio. Yeah, I got too many damn files on my computer. Let's try this one and see what it does with like the Pilly and the partners and stuff.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting if there's some kind of IP protection in there. If you put, for example, a picture of a partner statue in there, or of Mickey Mouse or so. You know what I mean?
I think that's on ChatGPT.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. I've tried generating. Actually, I tried putting in an image of one of the Photoshop artworks that I did of all the Star Wars IP, and it said that there's content in the image that it can't work with, or that violates copyright or something like that.
Yeah. But that would be so interesting here on this. And I see our guest popped in, but we will still let this photo generate here just to see what comes out of it. But I mean,
if you guys are just joining us, this is the first one that it generated too, which is here's the original. Wait, can I click? Wait, how do you go back to the original? Oh, here's the original. And then it generated this. So
yeah, pretty
awesome.
Cool.
It even says beyond the drop on the cup.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that before. Nice.
Oh, it gave like a whole different angle. Look at this. Oh. Look, there's the gold statue on the right, a VeVeverse on the TV, all the collectibles on the shelf. Nice. It's actually like, I love how it has its own style and twist to it. It looks.
Yeah, and guys, as I said before, if you guys play around with that, it's free, like for five pictures. Please tag us. We want to see your creations with that amazing product here. But with that said, now let's introduce Doodlifts, our guest today here, Director of Ecosystem and Growth at Doodles. Welcome.
Let's connect. Be on the top.
What's
Hey.
up? Great to have you here. Hello.
How's it going?
Awesome that you take the time today. Much appreciated. I mean, we guys spoke, but this is, oh, wrong side. This is Josh, my co-host here. So,
yeah, thank you for taking the time to hop on the show and just share a little bit more about the project and let us get to know you a little bit more. So we're looking forward to the show. So,
yes,
awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
And guys, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Obviously, Josh and I have definitely a few questions here lined up. And just to start right away, I mean, for someone who has never heard of Doodles, what is it and how did you get involved? That would be kind of interesting to know here.
Yeah. answering the question of what is Doodles is one of the more difficult questions. But I think we describe ourselves as a creative studio and entertainment brand that sits at the intersection of art and technology. And so, Doodles, or the art style kind of known as the Doodles style, was developed by Burnt Toast, arguably over his whole lifetime, but he was doing work at Facebook, WhatsApp, Google, and introduced this kind of character universe in this very particular style with a very particular line weight and a floating eye. And he's been working on this art style for a long time. And it appeared in murals, it appeared in graffiti, then in NFTs, and now in AI. And so one of the things that Burnt Toast said is that he always puts his art where it's not supposed to be, right? I mean, and so yeah, Doodles is that. It is that iconic art style. It has appeared in short films at Toronto International Film Festival, music videos of Lil Wayne and Pharrell and Coi Leray, all the collabs that people know Doodles for: McDonald's, Adidas, G-Shock, etc. But we like to say Doodles is a lens, and be beautiful, be everywhere. So that's the elevator pitch. But did you ask how I got into Doodles? Is that the second part of the question?
Yeah.
Awesome. I guess the short version is, I had kind of always been like crypto curious for as long as I can remember. All my friends would always ask me what's going on with crypto. I was obsessed with Bitcoin mining for some reason. Like, I always thought that was so cool. And then one of my buddies said he was getting into NFTs, and he was like, oh, I'm getting this NFT. And I was like, I'm the crypto guy. I got to get the NFTs. And so I jumped into NFTs and found my way into that, and kind of paid my tuition, minted a bunch of rugs and lost a bunch of money. But I really liked what was going on here. And so I was like, okay, if I want to stick around, I'm going to get serious. And I ran into the Doodles team on Twitter, through podcasts, and they had been involved with things like CryptoKitties. They were doxxed. I knew you could see who they were. And so I don't know. I was like, if I'm going to stick around, I'm going to hitch my wagon to a team that seems like they know what they're doing. And so I joined as a community member in June, I think, of 2022. Then I ended up working professionally in the space for a couple of years for Flow Blockchain. And now just recently came on to work full time for Doodles. So I think that's the short version.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Before we jump into the second question, Josh and I took a look at the physical Doodles artwork, and like the one you have in your bag, and we were wondering, like, how heavy is it? Is it heavy, or is it more light?
These vinyls are well, they're not like, I would say they're light. They're lighter than you would expect them to be. But these, if anybody is familiar with like Cause figurines, they're done by a company called All Rights Reserved, or SK Lamb. And so all of these were done by that company. So they're like, I don't know. That's one of the things that people love. They're like, it's the best of the best, the highest quality.
Yeah. And you really see it even through the images online. So, but speaking of your role in the company, because you are responsible for the Doodles ecosystem and growth, what is the hardest part of, I guess, growing a Web3 community in the space right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. What is the hardest part about growing a Web3 community? I mean, I don't know. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter about this actually the past couple of days, but I think the hardest part about growing a quote unquote Web3 community is the hardest part about growing any kind of community online, is the hardest part about growing a brand online, right? It's like, how do you actually build something that matters? How do you actually build something that has cultural relevance, that develops brand equity, that people can fall in love with the storytelling? It's like, I think that to me is the hardest part. I think that managing a fandom or managing a community or growing that is to me a natural consequence of having something that people want to be fans of, or they want to gather around, and they want to support, they want to be a part of. So that to me is like, anybody can make a Discord, anybody can hire community managers, but like, how do you actually have that shining light on the hill, that lighthouse of IP, of a character universe that people actually want to engage with? That to me is the secret sauce.
Yeah. And what is it about Doodles, in your opinion, that keeps people and engages people? Because we've seen, like, especially back in 21, 22, like big names like Gary Vee, for example, talking about Doodles, being part of the Doodles community. So what's your take on that? What's the shining lighthouse here for Doodles?
Yeah, I mean, all memes aside about like, it's about the art. In some ways, I think it is. I heard Doodles artwork described recently by a friend, and I had never heard it put this way before. He described Doodles artwork as caffeine for the eyes, or like a cup of coffee for the eyes. And
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm stealing that. Shout out to Will and Rob from Digitoy, so I'll give him credit.
Ah,
But like that's because I'd always struggled to kind of describe it. It was always kind of like, if you ever watch American Idol or X Factor or one of these celebrity, shows or whatever, it's like two artists can go back to back and like they're equally talented, but one has that star factor and one doesn't. And one's going to go all the way. They're going to be famous regardless of whether they get picked on the show, or whatever, and one doesn't. It's like, yeah, how can you, put an NFT PFP one next to the other, next to the other, next to the other, and tell the difference. And I think that to me, that's what the Doodles artwork attracted myself. It was like it almost the artwork inspired me, wanted me, I became more creative because of it. It unlocked something in me. I wanted to create, different, versions of my doodle, which ended up leading me down to learn about Photoshop. And then I got more into videography and creating content. Like it literally unlocked this creative universe, something as simple as this little NFT PFP. And so I think really it is about the art, and that it is the caffeine for the eyes. I think people are instantly drawn to it. They want to engage with it. They want to know more. I think that's the X factor for us.
Yeah, yeah. Totally get that, but still hard to do, right? Because I mean, you guys started with like a 10,000 PFP project on Ethereum, and then transitioned kind of fast into like a multi-chain project and a media outlet kind of. So like you said, you've been here not that long in the current role, but how do you handle all that, like this fast movement?
It's funny. I guess I don't think about it that way that often. Like I just have been in crypto long enough. Like this is just the speed at which crypto moves. Like, and I'm accustomed to it. I'm chronically online. Like it's funny. I talk to other people who have other jobs, maybe in like corporate America, or whatever. I was actually just on visiting my brother out of state, and he was telling me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I've got a pitch to the leadership team in September." And I was looking down, I was like, September? I was like, it's June. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, that I just like couldn't compute. Now, granted, actually stepping into this role has made me stretch my brain a little bit in the way that I was just at the licensing expo in Las Vegas. And then companies, more traditional companies, the toy companies of the world, XYZ, they're talking on 18 and 24 month timelines. But to me, this is the pace at which I'm accustomed to. So it's normal to me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, totally get it. Josh?
no. Continue. I'm going to piggyback off of what you used to hear.
Yeah, no worries. When we look at the overall NFT market, I mean, 2021, 2022, big boom, prices exploded, Doodles, all the other projects like went to like astonishing highs. And obviously, when we spend like time in the NFT space, all of it like gone down a lot. But what would you say to someone that bought in on the high? Why should that person still hold?
Why should the person who bought the Pico top still hold? It's a great question, right? I guess to me, and because I was maybe one of those people, you know,
I mean, we've all been there.
yeah. It's like, I think that if you look at the kind of collective market cap of NFTs more broadly or whatever, and you compare it to like traditional entertainment, to me, it feels like there's still tons of room for growth there, right? I know the meme is like, oh, do you really think you're going to be the next Pokemon? Do you really think you're going to be the next Disney or next, Adventure Time or next Bluey or whatever? And I'm like, I can only speak for Doodles as a community member and as someone who works there. And I'm like, yeah, like if I didn't think that Doodles could be the next Bluey, the next Adventure Time, the next Blue's Clues, whatever, I wouldn't be here. Like there's no part of me that's like, man, I really hope that Doodles can be that, third rate IP that, puts out a graphic novel at Barnes and Noble and that's as good as it gets. And it's like, absolutely not, I wouldn't be here for that. And so for me, I'm like, if you still think that we are early in the grand scheme of things, and I think if you zoom out at how any IP is formed or any collectible ecosystem, crap, look at baseball cards. Took them 40 years to catch on.
Yeah.
Look at them now.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, if you actually look at collectible ecosystems, the way the IPs are developed, and you can see that we are early because we are. I know it's a meme. And you want to have a front row seat to building one of the best brands to ever come out of the internet, then stick around. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the ride. And so I'd probably say the same thing to anybody else.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fair.
I think something that's really noticeable with Doodles is you guys seem to be quite selective with the partnerships you guys do. You know, McDonald's, Crocs, Adidas, really, really impressive partnerships. But what is the criteria for Doodles to want to work with another company here? Because you mentioned at the beginning of the interview that Burnt Toast had mentioned that he wants his art kind of everywhere that it shouldn't be. Is that kind of the main criteria and you build off that, or how does partnerships with Doodles work? What do you guys look for?
I would say the main criteria for partnerships is pretty simple. I think it just has to, I know this is probably not like the sexy answer, but it's just like 1 + 1 has to equal 3. You know, it has to be more that Burnt Toast has said this, is like has to be more than the sum of its parts, right? In the sense that like Doodles plus X brand has to be something greater. It shouldn't just be Doodles slapping our logo on something else or the reverse of that. Like that's just not going to cut it. For example, we'll use Adidas. Like Adidas, you know, allowed Doodles to reimagine their tracksuit and their superstars. I think of the superstars pointing some way there. And you know, and this is one of those things that like I learned. I was a community member at the time, and so I got to learn from that perspective. They were talking about how the superstar and the tracksuit, they don't let a lot of people like mess with those surface areas. Those are their iconic silhouettes. And so it's like, in that case, it was like 1 + 1 = 3. And not to mention that we just redid the tracksuits and the shoes. But as you can see, that character Daisy was in the short film wearing the tracksuit. It's like, that's the kind of stuff. It's like, same with the McDonald's thing. You know, it's the partnership started. It was like, hey, can we do maybe these cups? And then it was like, and then it transformed into a music video and all kinds of other limited edition collectibles. It's once again, terrible way to phrase this. And there is a method to the madness, I promise you. But it's kind of like, you know it when you see it kind of thing. It's that Simon Cowell star factor. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So we have some kind of rough criteria, but you know it when you see it.
Fair.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still, I mean, we come mainly from the VeVe side, and we are impressed with the IP that VeVe has on board and onboarded over the last couple of years. But before the stream, Josh and I talked about, I mean, it's McDonald's. I mean, you have to secure that kind of deal, or Adidas. That's like a brand or brands known all around the world. So kudos to you guys. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And we were a little bit not annoyed, sad that the cups were only available in the US. Is that right? Because
Yeah,
Josh is
that's
from
correct.
Canada, I'm from Germany, and we would have loved to have those cups.
I see some comments in the chat here. Ronnie said, do brands ask you to collab, or is Doodles asking to collab with a company? It's a mix. So yeah, whether it's inbound or outbound, it's always a mix. And like we are actively pursuing outbound partnerships. We wouldn't be doing our jobs if we weren't. But some of the best collabs we've ever had have been inbound as well. And sometimes the inbound is simple as like someone from their team sliding in someone in our team's Instagram DMs, and it's something so small. It's like, check your DMs, people. You know what I mean? Like, so it's always dependent. There's no black or white answer there.
Yeah, I mean, in a recent interview with VeVe's CEO Korea, we talked about it never hurts to ask, and I mean that's how this came together. I slid in your DMs, so sometimes you just have to ask, right? But 100%. Josh, do you want to go ahead, or should I shoot a question here?
Go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, we've now gone like into the Doodles ecosystem quite a bit. But I would say lots of our viewers know Doodles mostly because of the recent partnership with Almond X and VeVe. But before we go into that, where would be a good place to start for someone who had never heard of Doodles before? Just go on the website and play around, or what would you say?
I personally, I think, Instagram and YouTube are great places to start. Instagram has a bunch of social shorts, like tons, and you can just kind of ingest the caffeine for the eyes, scrolling through the shorts. But then YouTube has our music videos and has our short film, which kind of introduces you a little bit more to the kind of story universe there. So I'm like, honestly, I would start there. Go to the places you already are: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, maybe.
I love that. Yeah. Now, one thing that stood out to me with you was actually a couple of days ago, I saw a video that you had put together in response to somebody who had just gone into the Doodles project for the first time. And what it looked like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like you kind of just walked outside your house and recorded like this personalized message and dropped it as a comment, which I think is incredible for you to take the time to do something like that. So what is real community to Doodles? Because I mean, obviously community is a very important part of the project, but what do you guys focus on, I guess, on a day-to-day to really establish that community? Or what does the community look like on a day-to-day for you guys?
I guess to talk about the videos too, that was something that I just started doing fairly recently. I'm tough Web3 time is a flat circle, so I couldn't say if it was like 3 weeks or a month ago or whatever. But I remember, I don't know who it was. Oh, well, in one, I'm just not like, I'm actually a horrible typist. And so I'm like, I'd much rather speak or do a video. That's why I do like a stream or whatever. I'm like, I'm not a great typist. So I feel like I can't articulate myself as well. And so I wanted to just welcome someone to the community. I was like, why don't I just record a video? And someone was like, oh my gosh, that was so cool. And I was like, it's not okay. Like, it didn't seem that crazy to me. Like, and so I just kept doing it. And I think that it does come from a place of, as somebody who's now started as a community member and now is on the team themselves, like I constantly try to think about, what did I want as a community member from the team, and just try my best to provide whatever that is. Like, and I also think too, that I try to really, like, servant leadership has always been a big thing for me. And so I'm like, when a lot of times I leave those videos, I'm like, I'm here to be of service to you, so let me know if you need anything. My DMs are open to you. Like, I'm here for you. I see myself as like a steward of the Doodles brand, and like, hopefully, a servant leader to the community. That being said, for the community, Web3 communities are so many things, because so many people join Web3 communities for so many reasons. Right? There's a litany of reasons why somebody can join the community, but I do love our community. I think that one of the things that's impressed me most about our community is how creative they are, and I think that makes sense for Doodles. There was a while ago, I think, Moonbirds tried to brand themselves as the art collectors PFP. And that was a while ago. That was like under a previous administration of Moonbirds. I always thought that was kind of funny, because I was like, it always felt like that was maybe more natural for Doodles, right? It's like Doodles seems to attract artists and creatives, or people who maybe don't even know they're creative yet, and then they get in the community there. And so to me, I think that, I don't know, just from the company to community side, I often think about that the community should be, or Doodles maybe more accurately, should be inspirational, less than like aspirational. Obviously, it's great if, our NFTs are Veblen goods and people want to aspire to hold them. And I think that's amazing. I certainly think that's important, but I think inspiration is massively important. And so I want to kind of set the tone of what it looks like to be a community member, and to build with the brand. And that's what this thing is. It's like, I don't know, as much as we are going to proliferate the Doodles brand, I think that if we had all of our holders proliferating and being inspired and being creative alongside us, I think that would be a win. Hopefully that was a good answer.
It was a fantastic answer, and I can certainly relate to what you just said, because I never picked up an editing tool or a video program or any of that stuff before I got into the collecting space. And then I started creating content around the collectibles, and then I hopped into Photoshop and started making some artwork around that. So it's like, yes, I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I love it. So
I mean, I can tell you those personalized messages are like really well received, because in my chat here, Mr. Long, great name by the way, just wrote, "That was me." That personal message has gone out to him in my chat. So that's super cool. That's super cool.
It builds value for the person you're sending it to, but also everybody else that sees it too. And that is, to me, is it's so awesome.
I'm very cautious about that, because I don't want it to be posturing. I think there's a lot of posturing that happens in Web3. Like, and so I don't know, like, and we have a group within Doodles called the Product Panel. They help us test like early products. And no, actually, I think I put this in the main Discord. I was in the main Discord channel, we're our exclusive holders channel, part of that. And I was saying like, hey, you may have seen, Pocky, doing more one-on-one. He's our community manager, doing more meetings, one-on-one meetings with holders. I was like, you may have seen the tone change. I think I may have mentioned these videos. And I was like, I'm only going to say this once, but I'm like, this is what we're doing. This is how I want to show up for the community, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to tweet about it. I'm not going to say, hey, did you notice I'm doing these videos? Like, because that entirely defeats the purpose. Does that make sense? 100%. I want it to be felt, not said, is what I would want to go for.
Yes. But also at the same time, I don't think you can really avoid that too. I mean, I think that's just something that comes naturally too with being online and people, kind of typing from behind their keyboards, not to be rude or anything, but I think it's just an easier space for people to kind of bring up stuff like that or make assumptions. But not bringing it up yourself to kind of like boast about it. Yeah, I get that. Jan, do you want to continue?
It's fun, and I am glad that it's well received. And because I say, like I said, from being on the community side, when I joined Doodles, I made my post about I got a doodle, and I remember Evan Keast Tulip, who's now back with Doodles, is amazing full circle. Like I think just liked it or something, and I was like, well, I guess I'm sticking here forever. Like I don't know, that meant a lot to me. The founder engaged with my thing, and so so just try to do my best to.
Yeah, makes the bond between like community members even stronger, I guess. We've talked about Doodles in terms of elaborating creativity in the community, in artists, etc. And you guys put out like your own Doodles AI, and you did it, like I would say, the hard way, training it on your own IP and all that stuff. Why not the easy way? Why the hard one?
Well, I would not because we're like a glutton for punishment or anything like that. I think quite simply because we always joked about like an AI model hates to see the floating eye coming. Like the floating eye is a signature of the Doodle style. It's one of the defining features, and almost every production grade, image model can't hang with it. It interprets it. It like adds another eye, and like then it has, I don't know, it just can't do it. And so quite literally something as simple as that was just breaking all these models. And I'm like, okay, well, if we want to do this, we got to do it. Got to do it our way. Luckily, there was someone in our universe, Inge Erlingson, who was founder of Golden Wolf. And now he's gone on to start a company named Systems that specializes in these trained LLM models, or trained image models more specifically. So he helped us build that model, which is called Prism 1.0. It's our first version of the model. And it is adept at handling the floating eye. And so it's been awesome to see. I think the aim always was Burnt Toast wanted to distill kind of his art style. He calls it the magic pencil that can only draw beautiful things. And so now he's done that, distilled his art style in this magic pencil, and now the community in the world more broadly has access to it, which is awesome. And it's been super well received. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Oh, Jan, did you? Oh, I thought you froze for a sec. No, that was my fault. That was my fault. Do you want to talk a little bit more about this feature film you guys are working on, and maybe where that stands? Because I know you guys were using AI to make 100% of that, right?
Yeah. I think that's our aim, is to have one of the first feature length films or animated series. It's kind of interchangeable at this point. That's going to be, I won't say fully AI generated in the way that it's, when we first started talking about this, not many people were talking about this. And then it was like, immediately Higgs Field put out a 90-minute fully animated short at the Cannes Film Festival. Amazon launched an AI creators fund where they're funding movies. So it's like the AI movie scene exploded like within weeks after we talked about that. Now, will anybody put out a AI generated, and I don't want to get like specific, like we will be the first AI generated 2D film with a floating eye, like whatever. That's unimportant. But Doodles AI and the models associated with it. And right now it's only image to image, and then we have other versions kind of internally, but it's going to be animated in the future. Like Doodles AI is the creative kind of nucleus now, or like the creative engine of Doodles. And then, yeah, we absolutely want to use it to power micropilots and then lead all the way to an animated short or feature length film. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
It's fantastic. And is there a timeline that's been announced for that yet? Or is that still all up in the air?
No, we haven't announced a timeline for it. It would almost be kind of like irresponsible too in the age of AI. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but a new model could come out in a month and we could go boop and then turn out a 90-minute movie. I don't think we would do it that way, but it's like I would be remiss with saying like, well, it's going to take us exactly 12 to 18 months to make this film.
So now that you mentioned that, I'm very curious to get your perspective on this. Maybe just to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. What are your thoughts on this Mythos model that got dropped? And then is it still available in the US? I think it got pulled for everybody.
Fable got fabled? No, Fable's it's not available anymore.
For anyone.
As far as I know, at least not available to me. And I'm pretty sure I read the Anthropic statement that's not available. Yeah, so I'm fairly certain it's not available to anybody.
So I know there was a lot of panic behind, the doors of like Amazon and businesses like Google. But when Doodles sees a model like that drop, what is your reaction to something like that? Because the capabilities of that model compared to, any of their existing ones, but also competitors like ChatGPT, it was way ahead. So
yeah, I was cranking on Fable. I was using it. I built a game. We actually had we do a creator sesh. We call it a creator sesh. It's every Thursday in our Discord where we want to kind of inspire the community to use the latest tools it's self-reinforcing in the way that, when I was a community member, the more tools I had the ability to kind of spread the message of Doodles, the better. And so I'm like, not only can people make Doodles artwork anymore, but they make Doodles apps and Doodles games and Doodles this all on their own. You know what I mean? Using these tools. And so we spend every Thursday working with the community to show them the latest and greatest. So we were making games last Thursday. It was super fun. It was a very short lived.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but where do you guys do that? Where do you guys do that?
It's in the Discord. So the Doodles Discord, just in voice chat. I think it's every Thursday. I'm terrible with time zones. I don't have it on my calendar right now, but it's early afternoon Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, I want to check that out. So
yeah.
And I guess to answer your original question, I'm sorry, but was about how do we handle kind of the latest model release? We're always using the latest stuff. We're leaning in. When C-Dance first came out, we were leaning in. How can we use C-Dance? How can we incorporate this into our workflows? When a new model drops, we're using the latest and greatest all the time. I have every subscription, every aggregator running, like, we're doing it all.
Yeah. Awesome. And the purpose you've mentioned in terms of like spreading the word and building games, and that also like enhances like the community overall, because like Josh and I, for example, are really hard is not the right word, but we think like over time communities will merge together more and more in the digital collectibles space. Sure. Because we've seen it now. Alman X and Doodles did the drop like a couple weeks last week, a couple days back, and that probably brought a lot of your community onto Alman X and the VeVe side, and vice versa. So where do you see like the space going in that direction in terms of different fandoms coming together, or different IP dropping collectibles together?
I think that in the short term, we'll probably see more of that. In the long term, I think that probably won't be the outcome. I think that digital collecting will look just like collecting. There's
Mhm.
people that collect Topps Chrome and people that collect other, different cardboard or One Piece or Pokemon or whatever. And they don't necessarily, I would say the majority of people, there are certainly people who are just collectors. So collect anything
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
cardboard through any slabs. But there are people
Mhm.
just like, yeah, I collect One Piece. Yeah, I collect Pokemon. Like, I don't know anything about One Piece, and that's fine. You're not expected to. I think that's probably going to be the same way in digital collecting. We're just really early. And so there is a lot of cross pollination. And there is something to be said for the form factor of digital collectibles on aggregated marketplaces like OpenSea and things like that. So that's naturally going to create some kind of cross collaboration. But if you use the
Sure.
analogy of physical collectibles, you don't say like I'm an eBay enjoyer. You're just like I buy my Pokemon cards from eBay. You know what I mean? And so
eBay
I think we'll probably it's a little bit of an hourglass. Like we'll kind of all come down and then kind of there'll be a lot of cross pollination and people right now have to identify as digital collectors because it's so early and then we face a lot of criticism as an industry. So we all are kind of rallying around it. But long
Yeah.
term, I think we'll just be fans of what we're fans of and we'll engage with it digitally, just like we do physically.
Just be collectors. Yeah.
What is your take on because a lot of like physical collectors are hesitant again, like in terms of starting to collect digital. What is your long-term view on that topic? I mean, obviously we will not convert all physical to digital and not all digital to physical, but give me your take on that.
I mean, hey, it goes both ways. Physical collectors, I'm looking at you. No, I'm just, it's just like, I say that truthfully. I just, it was funny at a crypto conference. I opened a Pokemon pack with my buddies a couple years back, and I pulled the chase card in the set. This is Bubble Mew, and I held on to it for a few years. I was like, I'm finally going to get it graded. So I hold on to it. It's in my closet. I have to make sure it doesn't get crumpled. And then eventually I send it off for grading, which I have to pay express grading because I want it done quickly. It cost me $200. Still takes them a month and a half to grade.
Mhm.
Then I send it to the vault, then sell it on eBay. It sold last week and I still don't have my money. And so I'm like, this is by crypto and Web3 standards, a saga. I got a text from Stripe. They're like, your money's on the way, but it's still on the way. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as where if I sell a digital collectible on OpenSea, whatever, it's like, boom, done. And then I could buy another one. It doesn't matter. Like, there's no kind of waiting there. So I'm like, do I think we'll onboard physical collectors over the long term? Sure. I don't see any reason why not. Like I said, we collect things physically, and I think we will collect things digitally. It's just like I have a Disney Pinnacle on my phone. I can view all of my pins from my phone. There's pins in my closet that I haven't seen in 6 months. It's like there's distinct benefits to digital collecting. People will discover them over time. And it's more just, I think time takes time and they need to get acclimated to the medium.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
I think at the moment, like the digital side has like a huge reputation problem because of what you've mentioned in the beginning. I mean, you got rugged in the beginning, and I guess a lot of people had that same experience here and there. So I think from my understanding, there's a lot of education necessary, like in terms of what kind of utility like digital stuff could potentially offer and what the benefits of that are. Is Doodles doing something in that direction of giving out utility?
Utility is such a funny word, right? Because it's like, I think utility is probably a better term for something like a DeFi protocol token or something like that. Like, oh, this token does this exact thing, right? And there's so many different tokens in the Doodles ecosystem. We have our OG collection, we have Doopies, we have our fungible token called Dude. And so it's like, can you use these tokens to do things? Yes. Like, can you buy Doodles AI generations using Dude token? Yes. And that's because it's all on chain and you could do that. And so it's like, are they useful within the ecosystem? Absolutely. What they mean to holders, to the brand over long term, that is kind of the beauty of digital collectibles, is that is infinitely flexible. I think you mentioned Gary Vee earlier. And that was one of the things that I thought was so cool about NFTs when I first got, started. He's like, I'm going to put out this collection of VeFriends. He's like, I could leave it alone. I could stop working on it. He's like, but someone might think they're cool 10 years from now, might pick it up and start adding quote unquote utility to it. And I always thought that was fascinating. So yeah, there's many collectibles in our ecosystem. They all mean different things to us and to the fans that hold them. And so hopefully that is adequate.
Yeah.
There's something super powerful about just being able to click a button and then that update gets pushed to everybody. Yeah, you have me thinking of like Tesla, where somebody can wake up and their car can do something new in the morning.
Oh my God.
It's so cool.
Dude, one of the coolest things. So we've got a Tesla is we saw the Tron movie, in theaters, and then woke up a few days later and they're like, hey, do you want to Tronify your car? And so it changed the car kind of icon into a light bike, and it had a trail, and it played airy Tron sound effects. And I was like, why isn't every car brand doing this? I was like, this is so cool. And that's the difference, like you said, between software and physical. And I think that's probably, you talk about a reputation problem. One of the reasons that digital collectibles have a reputation problem is the barrier to entry is low. Same with software. It's a lot harder to start a scam business that you got to go rent a building for and do all this stuff. It's like the barrier to entry is different. The barrier to entry for starting scam software, much lower. The barrier to entry for starting scam collectibles, higher, because you have to print cardboard or print figures or whatever. Scam software collectibles, easier, and so I think that's it's part and parcel for the medium.
Yeah. For those who are asking in my chat, because it's not shown on screen, the on-screen chat is on Collectors Gone Digital's channel if you want to join the on-screen chat here.
Yeah, we haven't figured out how to merge the chats. Sorry, guys.
Stream things. I get it.
Yeah, such a headache. Jan, are there any other questions that you want to
have?
I have one more.
Yeah, then shoot yours first.
I wanted to actually give you the floor and just see if there's anything else that you wanted to talk about that we haven't brought up. Any information that you want to kind of just share for those who are listening?
Ooh, opportunity to spill some alpha, something like that.
Yeah.
For example.
I will say I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't plug this, but I think it's important. So you guys, I think we're talking about Doodles AI earlier. If nobody here's tried it, we do give out 5 free generations for anybody who signs up. So it's makedoodles.ai. You get some free generations. Like I said, there's many things coming. It's just, go ahead.
Oh, no, I did not mean to cut you off. I was just going to say we were having some fun with that a little earlier on in the stream. So yeah.
And guys, if you do tag us, we want to see your creations.
Yeah. We've done a lot of fun stuff with Doodles AI. We did a prompt comp with DeLorean where people were generating a bunch of kind of DeLorean artwork and tagging them. It was super fun. But, that product, Doodles AI, is still in early beta, right? It's only image to image, it's only text to image. So that's why if you sign up now, you'll get alerted when we roll out animation. We roll out other features. We have our product panel testing some features that I'm not ready to talk about yet right now. But I think arguably is, Doodles has done a lot of amazing things, but Doodles hasn't necessarily always been in the product business per se. A lot of collabs, a lot of drops, a lot of, entertainment content. But now we're kind of like in that plus our product era, if that makes sense, with Doodles AI. In our next product rollout, that is kind of Doodles AI adjacent. I know I'm being very cryptic here. I think could be one of our most successful endeavors yet. Everyone who've told about it is like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. It really works like that. What do you mean? They lean in. And I think that is one of the most important things when they see kind of what we're doing. They lean in, they go like, wait, hold on one sec. So I think that the latter half of this year, you're going to be seeing a lot more Doodles and a lot more of the places in everyday life, if that makes sense. Instagram, things like this. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be really cool, but I'm not being super cryptic. You'll know more very shortly. This is not months out, weeks, not months.
Okay, sounds amazing. But in terms of like physical stuff, like with the McDonald's cups, I mean, just a request here from my side. Can you make sure that Josh in Canada and I in Germany can also get my hands on that? That would be pretty cool.
It's funny. I need to reach back out to the McDonald's team. I just kind of got word that the McDonald's conference just happened in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about how their American locations, probably they wouldn't say it themselves this way, but are not doing as well as their international locations. And so they're leaning really heavy into their international locations, specifically Japan. And so I think activating internationally with McDonald's would be awesome. And I think it's a great,
Yeah.
great place to do so.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. That's the complete opposite of what I would have thought is happening. But yeah, more international reach would be amazing.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
didn't know
like,
that McDonald's was in Japan though.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
McDonald's is heavy in Japan, and they love their anime artwork. And so I think they're leaning heavy into that. They're doing some really cool stuff. There's actually a whole thing. I think it's called the Heist, where it's kind of a campaign and activation where they're stealing all the best items for all their international locations, because people who are like McDonald's fanboys and collectors, they have their own fandom. Trust me. They know that like in different countries there's different menu items, and it's always this kind of thing and like, oh, I wish we had that in the US. Oh, I wish we had the samurai Mac in the US or whatever. And so I think they're going to kind of bring a lot of their famous international items to the States.
Yeah, and I think also like the food tastes different in the different McDonald's
Depending on
stores.
where you are, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. And like while we are on the I would say Asian market side here right now, what is like your opinion on entering? Because I would guess, and correct me if I'm not correct here, that the Doodles IP is more in the Western, more I would say prominent in the Western hemisphere. Like, what do you think, like in terms of the Asian markets? Because like the Asian people are like huge digital collectors overall.
Oh yeah. I think the Asian markets, the APAC markets are huge. I think that everyone who I've talked with in those markets loves Doodles. You know, I've got a lot of friends in the Korean Doodles community, and I think Korea is somewhere that we've got our eyes on, specifically because and I love Japan, travel there many times, huge fan of the kawaii culture, character culture, all that stuff. But I do think that Korea is probably going to be a greater exporter of cultural content, more so than Japan over the next probably 10 to 15 years. Basically what Japan was 10 to 15 years ago. And so we've got some conversations going with some folks in Korea to do some cool stuff. But I will say that the Doodles artwork, you mentioned it's kind of like Western centric. And someone in the chat said anime doodles. Yes, please. And what's funny is like Doodles are kind of, Doodles are kind of anime-esque already, if that makes sense, which I think is why people in the West really like them. We are seeing more, anime kawaii culture kind of come to the West through stores like Miniso and things like that, Hello Kitty, Sanrio, all that stuff, even Labubu. But I think Doodles could go the reverse way, in the sense like it's palatable to the Western audience because it's not like strict anime, but it's anime-ish. And then it can go reverse and be exported to APAC and other places.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes total sense. And in terms of like looking out like 1 or 2 years, what would be like what does need to happen in those time frame that you would say, okay, those years were a huge success for Doodles overall and the digital collectibles space?
Yeah, I think that for us to be able to look back and say Doodles is a huge success, and maybe this is more like a feels like metric, but I remember seeing a video of Gary Vee recently, and someone was talking about, they're like, oh, is iShowSpeed as famous as Michael Jackson? And then someone was like, oh, for sure, iShowSpeed is as famous as Michael Jackson. And Gary Vee looks over at somebody and he goes like, hey, do you know who Michael Jackson is? And they go like, yeah. He's like, do you know who iShowSpeed is? And the guy's like, who? He's like, exactly. He's like, you cannot fathom the level of celebrity that Michael Jackson achieved. And so, not that I'm saying that Doodles is going to be Michael Jackson, but for all the Doodles holders, and maybe this is the NFT holder, what's in it for us is like, I want you to be able to go home for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, and see your family, and then you wear the Doodles merch, and your family already knows what it is. You know what I mean? Like that's the end game. There's many routes to victory there, like animated series, feature length film, all the things around Doodles AI, all of our continued partnerships and Doodles being a lens and being beautiful and being everywhere. But I think if we can kind of, as a company, get into a motion of kind of crescendoing to big moments that gather a lot of spotlight and celebrity, and then running it back and just kind of entering more of a rhythm as a company, something that's going to be able to continue for a long time. And I think we're seeing that with a lot of other quote unquote NFT projects as well, as they're kind of finding their unfair advantage, diving deep down into that thing. And for us, it's the art. right? Like that's why Doodles AI, and we're doubling down on that. And so we're kind of digging our heels in for the long haul because we want to be here.
Yeah.
And you mentioned celebrities there a moment ago. Pharrell Williams was the chief brand officer, still is, for Doodles. What does his involvement kind of look like with the project?
Dude, I haven't interacted with Pharrell, and I think Pharrell is kind of a Rick Rubin-esque character in the way that he like just kind of like flutters around and does whatever he does. So like, there's people much more qualified than I, speaking with Pharrell. I stick in my lane. So, we'll see what he's up to next, but I'm going to keep working on my ecosystem, my growth, and let Pharrell do Pharrell things.
Yeah.
Jan, do you have any other questions?
Not really. I mean, I think we've covered a lot, and it was like really interesting to get like a deeper view inside the Doodles ecosystem here. Guys, if you have any questions here in the chat, I guess you have like a couple minutes left here to ask those questions. So fire them away. And while we're waiting on questions coming in, you've mentioned you collected on other platforms before you came into the Doodles ecosystem. Do you still collect on other platforms? Because Pinnacle, you mentioned Pinnacle. And you also mentioned Will from Digitoys. We had him on like 2 or 3 weeks back. So do you only collect Doodles and a little bit Pinnacles here, or are you more like wide open to different IPs, different platforms, etc.?
Yeah, I collect tons of stuff, right? I probably have hundreds, if not thousands, of digital collectibles across a variety of different IPs and platforms, whatever. And I kind of notoriously, I'll kind of try anything, especially if a new app is starting. I'll try it. If a new ecosystem is getting fired up, I'll try it. If some kind of IP is coming on chain for the first time, I'll try it. I try to collect it. So yeah, I have no bias about collecting anywhere. I'll kind of try it all. And I think, you mentioned Pinnacle and stuff like that. And that's why I'm actually really excited to dive more into VeVe. And I was glad to get some exposure because this activation is that like, I'm a Disney super fan as well, go to the parks all the time, all that jazz. And so I'm like, that's why Pinnacle was so attractive to me. And I always kind of knew of VeVe, but I never dived all the way in. I even saw them at the D23 conference a couple of years ago. And so, yeah, I'll kind of follow my traditional fandoms on chain, Disney being one of them.
You will love the partner statue on VeVe. Only 4,333 editions. Such a cool piece in AR, honestly. But that's it for the little plug here for the VeVe side. But was there you've mentioned you've collected on multiple places. Was there a platform, an IP or something like that where you were like, we should do that at Doodles?
Oh, that's a good question. We should do that at Doodles.
And actually, maybe just to build off that question, if Doodles has any role models in the space as well, like any other companies you guys look up to or platforms.
Okay, those are a couple of good questions. I would say that, as far as strictly from like the crypto side of like, oh, someone does something, I'm like, oh, we should do that. I think that I'm always tapped into what's going on in crypto and always looking at things and always seeing things and getting inspired by things. So there's nothing that kind of like strikes right, off the top of my head. And I don't want to say like, oh, like we're not like other projects or whatever, but like we do have this phrase of like, when they zig, they zag. And so like very often Doodles will be doing something maybe different from the meta. And I think there's kind of some truth to that. As far as where do we get inspired, just more broadly, I think kind of everywhere. It's like, we do our apparel and merch in this way. And maybe that's inspired by this streetwear brand or something like that. And we do this drop this way, which is inspired by, Mischief or Supreme or something like that. I think we're drawing inspiration. I think maybe kind of a similar answer all the time. And do we have kind of role models of other companies? I would say less kind of role models and more like deep respect for anybody who's building in this space and at the level which Doodles is, and I think, you all probably know the projects that are building at that same tier, and such a deep respect for anybody who's in the arena doing it this way. It's like building a brand in Web3 in this way can be kind of hard mode. And so, yeah, nothing but deep respect and admiration for anybody in the arena.
That's awesome. Well, you mentioned that you're open to trying new apps. Jan and I have been kind of working on something we are open to show you if you have maybe 5 or 10 minutes after, after the show here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't want to take up too much of your time. But guys, if there's any other final questions you guys have, drop them in the chat. I do see one here. Are you guys going to be attending DCon or even like a New York Comic-Con this year in October or November?
Interesting. That's a really good question. I don't have any immediate plans to, but we are building out our calendar for the kind of the latter half of this year. And we want to make a big point about showing up in places that you wouldn't necessarily expect us. Well, maybe for Doodles you would, but not only crypto conferences is what I'm getting at. So that could be, live music, sporting events, a Comic-Con-esque event is a great example. And so, yeah, definitely need to look into that. Wait, is DCon DesignerCon or is that something different?
That's DesignerCon, yeah, Vegas, November.
Yeah. DesignerCon is definitely something we're looking at pretty closely.
Nice.
Pretty cool. I mean, there you can definitely also connect with the VeVe community besides like the Doodles community, even though you're probably pretty busy when you're there, but there will be a lot of VeVe people as well. And they will probably also check out like the Doodles booth.
I really like how you said sporting events though and music events, because I feel like the general focus for platforms or projects in this space is like crypto events and like the art shows and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of refreshing to hear.
Yeah, I mean,
it is.
Doodles debuted one of our songs. Not in the store. It was a song by Coi Leray. It debuted at Coachella on the main stage. Doodle, the Daisy character.
Very cool.
Was in bright lights, on the back. It was such a cool moment as a community member, and so stuff like that is amazing. I think it's absolutely where we want to be.
And what an event to do that at! Wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is kind of clear to us that you were able, or you and the whole team are able to bring Doodles to places where it belongs and gets seen by the right people. So great for you guys. And I would say we are really excited to like seeing that overall evolve. And I mean, now Josh and I are definitely way more into the Doodles community as well. So really looking forward to that. Yeah, Josh.
I
thought you wanted to say something.
Well, I bought my Doodle pencil on VeVe, and then I'm picking up the Doodle dog this week too to complete the set. So I love those.
Nice.
Yeah, and those are highly thought after pieces on VeVe, like the free redemptions. But our community is going hard at those. So.
Yeah, I was so excited to see the response from the VeVe community on those. It was like, yeah, so glad that was part of the activation. It was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what type of culture does Doodles aspire to create?
That's a good question. Not to reuse the same word because you're like create, and I'm like creativity. But I think Doodles as a community, aspires to have a community of creatives, and I think that's not just people who identify themselves as creatives, right? Who are like, oh, I'm a graphic designer, I'm this, that, and the other. I think what a lot of people discover when they enter the Doodles community is maybe they're more creative than they give themselves credit for. Or if we can give them additional tools to do so, then they can create. We have a phrase in Doodles, it's just called make something, right? And so, and I think there's a lot of purpose behind that, saying, when I first got to the Doodles community, I think a lot of crypto or Web3 NFT projects, whatever you want to call them, experience this was people would look to the teams. They would be like, are you guys going to do something? What are you going to do next? And they would sit around waiting with bated breath for like the next announcement or the next thing, whatever. And I'm like, one of the things that I really try to cultivate, because I'm somebody who, as a community member, wasn't waiting on anybody. I started hosting events. I started doing spaces. I wrote newsletters. I was like, I just wanted to be in the middle of the pack. And I wasn't going to wait. There was a period of time where Doodles many years ago went quiet for like 6 months. It was like the silent era. And I was like, I was like, well, if they're not going to say something, I will. So that's how I started hosting spaces, writing newsletters, all this stuff. Like, so we have this phrase called make something. So if someone comes to me and they say, oh, hey, it would be so cool if Doodles did this. And I'm like, go do it. Go make it.
Yeah.
Can I support you to do that thing or make that thing? Like, especially like you mentioned, we have the latest tools. We have, Fable, or at least Opus 4.8. Well, Fable's disabled. Like, we have these incredible tools to be able to do incredible things. And I think a lot of people don't realize it. I was actually DMing with another community member after one of our creator sessions, after we were making games. And I think people were kind of intimidated. It was Pocky and I, like, making games, and they were kind of like watching, like, I don't think I could do that. I had one community member DM me. They're like, bro, I tried Fable. They're like, and I did that idea I told you about 3 weeks ago. And I was like, yes. Because he was like, oh, can you guys do this? And I gave him the same thing. He's like, I did it. And I was like, yes. Like, so that's the kind of culture that I want to kind of cultivate, is people who don't ask for permission and just make something. And I think Doodles in the world will be better for it.
Yeah.
I'm smiling right now because you're describing our project right now, like, to a T. So
community driven initiatives, huge thing, I guess. But yeah, if there's nothing from your end, Josh or Doodlifts, then I would say thanks, guys, for being here, staying with us, and hopefully enjoying this discussion here. Josh, any final words from your end?
Yeah, we're gonna end it here with Dude Lifts, just because we want to kind of talk to him a little bit. So if you guys did enjoy the stream and you want to toss a like, share, it goes a long way for a smaller channel like us. So we really appreciate that. And yeah, Dude Lifts, any final words for the audience?
Honestly, yeah, just thanks for inviting me. I love getting to talk about this kind of stuff. It's like one of my favorite things to talk about. So I'm like, thank you for bringing questions and hanging out and talking about that stuff. And yeah, hopefully anybody who's watching, maybe they got inspired to go make something. And yeah, just appreciate you all.
Thank you for taking the time, and you're welcome anytime. So, but yeah, guys, that's going to be today's show. And we will catch you next Monday at 1 p.m. EST.
Yes.
Let's connect. We collect. The collector's going digital and Jack collects.